Hi everyone, welcome to this crash course in HTML, the language for building web pages. It's an infinite topic. There are so many things you can learn, but with this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to set up your computer so you can start to type HTML effectively, and I'm going to try to explain just some of the fundamental basic things that you need to know. And after that, you can go and do your own research and maybe start to figure out how to make your own web pages. I will be making some future tutorials as well, so we can go deeper into this topic. This tutorial is for absolute beginners. So, one of the resources that you will find very useful while you study HTML is w3schools.com. And if you come to their homepage, you will find the Learn HTML section. Okay? And today we're going to have a quick look at elements, attributes, headings, paragraphs, and styles. We'll cover these in this tutorial today, very briefly. I'm also going to show you how to effectively set up an environment on your computer where you can start to develop web projects. So in my file manager on my computer, I've created a project folder. Okay, just called it First Web Project. Call yours what you want. And if I go into it, I've just set up an images folder. So I'm kind of getting ready to start developing web pages, and I recommend you do the same thing. In fact, if you haven't done that, pause this video and do it now. You got it? Let's move on. Alright, to type HTML, we could use a very popular little program called Notepad. But Notepad is a bit tricky because it doesn't look very nice. Everything's in black and white. It's hard to see what's going on. Notepad is an option. You can write HTML pages, web pages with Notepad, but we're not going to. Well, you can if you want. I'm not going to. What I'm going to use is a program called Notepad++. Okay? And you can find this by going to Notepad++'s webpage. What I did was I went to my Google search engine and I just typed in download Notepad++, and I got this stuff here. And there are lots of options for downloading. There's this big button here, there's this big button here. I was like, which one do I do? This is an interesting one. Take this one if you have no idea which one you should take. Okay, that's me. So I clicked that link, I downloaded the installer, and I installed Notepad++ on my computer. So you'll have to figure that out for yourself. Alright? And this is Notepad++. And if we start typing, it's all very basic. It looks the same as Notepad, but let me show you the magic of Notepad++. I'll do that right now. I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to find my project folder. There it is, my first web project. I'm going to go into that and I'm going to create a file called, what shall I call it? I'm going to call it Web Page 1, because this is going to be my first web page ever. Very excited about this. And it's not a text file. No, 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 no. You need to find where it says hypertext markup language file .html. This is the kind of file that we're going to be making. So I'm going to save that in my project folder. Don't panic. Bingo. So if I go back to my project folder, I now have my web page 1 HTML file and my images folder. Brilliant. Now let me show you what you will have to type into every web page that you make. This is the structure of a basic web page. HTML /HTML. So we're telling this document, please expect some HTML code. Everything that we put into our web page will go between these two tags. These are called tags. And there are some more tags that you will have to type into your web page. There's the head tags, and we'll look at this later. And then after the head tags, we have the body tags. It's kind of sounding like a human being, isn't it? Because heads have humans have heads and humans have bodies. Well, so do web pages. Brilliant. And look at how I can click on a tag and it will immediately show me the partner. So tags open and tags close. Tags open and tags close. Tags open and tags close. Okay? Now, in the body section of our web page, this is where we will include all of our content. So for example, I can type hello, and if I save that and go to run, launch in, well, choose your web browser. I'm going to choose Chrome. There's my first web page. I'm so excited. This is fantastic. Great. Okay, and if I type in some more text, my name is John. Now we've got 2 lines of text. If I save that, I'm just going to go back to that web page. I didn't close it. I'm just going to refresh it. Boom! My name is John. Notice they're both on the same line. Oh, but in my file, they're on different lines. So HTML browsers like Chrome don't really understand the concept of new lines. You have to tell the browser that we're going to have a new line, and we can do that by using more tags. Yes. So for this hello, I'm going to use the p tag. So I'm saying to the web browser, here is a paragraph, and in this paragraph there is just one word, hello. And here I'm going to make a new paragraph. It starts there and it finishes /p, it finishes there. So it starts and it finishes. And if we save that and go back to the page and refresh, brilliant. Okay, so I now have 2 paragraphs in my web page. Now, what I'm going to do is change this p tag here. I'm going to change it to an h1 tag. So the h1 tag opens here and it closes here. So now we have an h1 tag pair, and between the tags there is the text hello. So let's save it. Always save it before you refresh your page. So h1 is like a heading tag. It makes your text bigger. And if we go back to W3 Schools, we can look at headings, and you will discover all about the different heading tags in HTML. H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. And you can mess around with this in W3 Schools. I've just shown you, by the way, some elements. I just showed you that we included a P element into our web page. Okay? And they have an element, usually has a start tag and an end tag. So this is the start tag, and every start or most start tags have an end tag. Okay? And we could do that with H1 or whatever. Okay? Now, very quickly, before I finish today, I'm going to look at styles, and then you can start to mess around with your own web page. So let's say I've got hello as an H1 tag, then I've got my name is John, and then I'm going to have another paragraph which says, and I am from the United Kingdom. Brilliant. And I'm going to close that tag, that P tag, so the P tag starts there and it finishes there. All of this is inside the body of the web page. At the moment, we don't have anything in the head, but all of my content is in the body. I have 1, 2, 3 elements. I have an H1 tagged element, I have a P tagged element, and I have another P tagged element. And if I save that and go back to my browser, I can see the web page is slowly building. But it's a little bit boring, isn't it? So I'm going to introduce you to how we can style some of this stuff, and then you can go and get on with your... So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here so we can see this a bit clearer. That H1 tag there, I'm going to add an attribute called style. Okay? This thing here that's in red is known as an attribute. Okay? And if you go to w3schools.com, you can find out a bit more about attributes. Okay? We're trying to explain attributes here. But let's go back to my notepad. My h1 tag, I'm going to include an attribute that the h1 tag will understand, and it is the style attribute. And inside the style attribute's quotation marks, I'm going to include a style. The color is going to be red. That is one style. Color, colon, red, semicolon. So let's save that, and we're going to run. Bingo! Okay? And I can do the same thing with other elements on my web page. I'm going to go to this element here, where it says my name is John. We're using the p tag. I'm going to style it with something. I'm going to think about that right now. Let's do a color. Color is going to be blue. That's the end of that style, but I'm going to do another style as well. I'm going to do two styles. I'm going to use the font size style. Font size will be, let me think about this, 40 pixels. Semicolon. So semicolon means that's the end of that style. So we have the font size style and we have the color style. And they're all inside the style attribute area. And the style attribute is part of the p tag. Okay? So I'm going to save that and let's refresh the page. Boom! So that's 12 minutes of introduction crash course tutorial video. See if you can get an environment set up, get a project folder set up, download Notepad++, and start to type up the main structure of a web page. Remember, the main structure of a web page is, I'm just going to get rid of that, HTML, head, body. And then in the body section of your web page, let's put in some elements. I've used an h1 tag for this element, a p tag and a p tag, and then start to style your elements. Of course, you can go to w3schools.com and get some more information and ideas about how this works. Good luck.